something that I got from Batman. But there's someone else in the world that uses that term all the time now. So I gotta say, holy fuck. Here we are again. Yes, we have another Coles. And this, once again, is probably one of the most iconic ribbon mics of the world. Legendary. Used by the Beatles. I mean, every big studio in the world, from Sunset Sound, Abbey Road, has one. Steve Albini had probably one of the coolest collections of all the different eras of these. I remember the first time I had gone to Electrical Audio to record with Steve Albini. He did my second record. My band's called Distortionfelix, and that record was called I'm an Athlete. I remember pulling out these massive big drawers, and he would have all these. They almost look like this is black, but they were like bronze, and the paint was all gone. I mean, he had super rare, microphones that were like this. Now, one thing I will say, not like two mics, but if you get an old Coles, I would probably suggest to get it re-ribboned. Almost every single Coles I've opened up that's old or vintage and never been touched, the ribbon's shot. And that's like kind of driving your car on with no tread, doesn't really stay on the road unless you put new tires on your car. You're always like, oh yeah, this is what driving's about. Well, ribbon mics are kind of the same thing. I was at AEA, the ribbon mic company, years ago when Wes Dooley was the owner, and a shipment of these had come in, and they were opening up the boxes, and there's maybe 5, 10 boxes of these microphones, and everybody was excited because they were Jack Whites. And so Jack White he would make it a habit. He would do a record, and then at the end of the record, he would send all his mics back to AES and have them replace all the ribbons. I mean, he sings into these and puts these on loud sound sources. So yeah, these are like, and a long time ago, I remember when I was starting to record and I was buying ribbon mics, I was really, at least back in like the late 90s, it was scary to think about ribbon mics because all these stories of guys, the pants of their pants had brushed by the microphone and they believed it had blown, all these different things I would hear about them. And then I would hear some people talk about these and be like, oh yeah, don't be a pussy, man, just use them on a snare or whatever. I don't know what the deal was. So now that I've been repairing ribbons for a lot of years, this is probably the only microphone that if I re-ribbon, pride aside, I'm not saying, oh, I could fucking make this thing sound better. Better than what? It's already a fucking classic. It already sounds like the way it does. And the only thing you want to do with this mic is have it sound like it was made for it. One of the few mics I feel that applies to this ribbon. The only other one would be an AEA brand new R88. Like if someone gave me one of those and they'd blown them, can you make this sound any better? I'd be like, dude, that is one of the greatest ribbon mics on earth. I'll be happy to make it sound like the way it's supposed to. So 2 examples, but kind of the same thing applies to this mic. Most ribbons of the world, I'll go into my little stash here. This is like cut into it, but it's supposed to say 0.6. That is the thinnest ribbon in the world to work with. It's not even 1 millimeter. These are ribbons that are, I don't think I have. I actually, here's some, this is a Coles. So this is how thin a Coles mic is. So I'm going to drop it. I mean, it's like air. Now here's a Coles microphone that's fucked up. This one came to me a while ago. Let me see if I got it here. Grab it. not letting me play with them today. Hold on. And they're spread out. Okay. Now this is a coal that's been ruined. That grill that's on it, it's not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to look, even though this one's semi-thrashed already, and that's a Buyer 160 ribbon. So, well, I might as well just show them all together. Fuck it. So that's a Kohl's that's semi-blown. This is a Kohl's that is fully blown. And they're both super thin. So this is 0.6 thickness in ribbon. And let's see if I have something else in here that's... I don't have an example. Well, most ribbon mics of the world are standard. All ribbons of the world. If you go buy a ribbon mic right now, guarantee you it's 1.8, 2.5, all the way up to some rare Russian ones that were like 8 microns. It was fucking super thick, useless. But if this is 0.6, and all the ribbons of the rest of the world are 1.8 to 2.5, you're pretty much dealing with air. Someone's saying, hey, can you cut a little piece of air and put that air inside this, and then we're going to put it on a drum set? Are you fucking crazy? Well, yeah, they're fucking crazy, because that's what they did, and that's what the Beatles sound like. That's what Jack White sings into. He sings into this, into an amp. So, yeah, a lot of history with this mic, and for repairs on this microphone are just, you have, because this is it's such a difficult mic to work on, not because you're taking it apart or you need to be like a scientist. The physical handling of the ribbon, which is 0.6, which is close to nothing, is usually only given to certified Kohl BBC repair companies. I think AEA is one of them. And there's about maybe 2 or 3 people across the U.S. that do really good jobs. And then, of course, in England, there's definitely a handful of people out in Europe that do really good repairs of these microphones. And the biggest issue is just the ribbon. To handle it is almost nearly impossible to work with. So for the first 2 years of me working on ribbons, I started to do these. And then I said, fuck no, I'm not going to touch them anymore. The ribbons are too difficult to corrugate and work with. And then I'm starting my own ribbon mic company, and I just told myself, you know what? Get over it. If an old lady in England or a young lad in England can repair the ribbons, and we have a few cats across the U.S. that can repair these, then if I'm going to say I'm going to make a ribbon mic company, and if I'm going to say I'm going to work on ribbon mics, I've got to be able to work on this microphone. So I just dived back into it, and I was really shocked that I got it really fast. But for 2 years prior to that, I bought some 0.6 ribbon, and to handle it, to cut it, to get it prepared, you have to make it in smaller portions. So you get a sheet about this big, and I have to cut a small sheet just to be able to cut it and work with it. When I got my first sheet, I bought it. It was almost $100. I went to lay it down, and as I lay it down, a gust of air got under it, and it lifted up the paper, and as the paper settled, it ruined half the ribbon. So $50 just went. I was like, oh my fucking God, are you fucking kidding me? Yes, God wasn't kidding. It ruined half that. So then I just said, fuck it, but then I kind of got over it, and I've been working with a lot of different ribbons. And I said, you know what, if you're going to talk the talk, you're going to walk the walk, you better fucking be able to do Kohls. So I got a sheet, and then with extra care and handling, because I was handling it like the way I use 1.8, which is a little bit more forgiving. But as soon as you get into 0.6, you're talking about gold leaf. When you see people putting gold leaf on stuff and it looks fragile and they're like dropping it, and they have it with a paintbrush, they can make, anyways, that's how thick. I actually have some gold leaf. And I just wondered, would I be able to cut that and put that in a ribbon? I'm going to do that someday. I got to find a donor Kohl's that I can fuck around with. And I may put some real, my aunt is a vintage jewelry dealer, and she happened to come across a bunch of gold leaf. So I have a sample of it. I haven't opened it up or even tried to work with it. But if I can work with 0.6 and I can get that corrugated to put in this, I'm pretty positive I'll be able to put gold leaf into one, and that would be a special mic. I obviously have to test it and make sure that after putting on a drum set, it just doesn't turn into gold leaf dust, or as my wife says, dust. Um, but yeah, so we're gonna do this today. This is a buddy's. There was some issues with when these start to go in the low end. Um, oh shoot! Hey Paul, what's up? I didn't have my glasses on. Hold on. I saw people riding, and I'm talking about the mic, and I don't have my glasses. Blind guy. Paul, another Coles? Yes, another one. I don't think I'm ever buying that. Yeah, I know. Everything I get is coming from Paul. Excuse me. I'm still under the weather, but just the cough is left. Hey, Velocity Recording Studio, what's up? You know what? The reason I couldn't put a gold ribbon in an MXL, this mic is catered to having a thin ribbon. There's a silk screen here. I mean, I could probably get an MXL covered in silk. And maybe in my mind, I would have to build a special, would it be a brass screen that would have to go over both sides of the MXL. I'd have to cover the inside of the MXL in either 1 or 2 layers of silk, and then I'd be able to put the gold leaf in. And the only other issue that would be the problem is that this mic has a 1-inch ribbon, and it's almost 6.35 millimeters across. So it's really big, it's really wide, and it's short. I think that has a lot to do with the strength of that ribbon withholding. An MXL is 2 inches. Even though it's 5.5 millimeters, that's a lot of, give and take that could possibly be an issue. I don't know yet. But yeah, so we're doing a Kohl's today. And to know what you're seeing, technically, in the history of all YouTube, no one's ever done a live breakdown of a Kohl's. And I never had ever seen one. Now, there's a lot of microphones that people build, but I've never seen a breakdown. I'm the only guy that I know of that's done 160s. I've done already 2 or 3 Kohl's that have been live. But the reason is that it's such a trade secret working on these, and also the people that are, I'm sure, certified by Kohl's to do them, they're not going to share how you do them. And it's just like, it's just super, super difficult to find any information on this microphone except there's pictures. There's people that there's a few guys that, still brag about that they'll do these and they're good guys and they show you before and afters and all that stuff, but no one ever does it live on the spot. So I know that this is usually not a one and done. So I cut 3 ribbons over there. If I go through all 3 ribbons, there'll have to be a part 2 to this one. But the reason is, usually other microphones that have a thicker ribbon, when I go to install the ribbon, once it hits the microphone with some rubbing alcohol, I have a little bit of leeway to move the ribbon to put it in position. On this particular mic, the first time I lay the ribbon in, it tells me it's either fucked up or I have quick 1 minute to position it correct. And then after that, if I have to adjust it once the alcohol has dried up, even if I hit it again, there's a chance that the ribbon is thrashed. Oh, God. So I've been under the weather for about a week. But I've been cranking out some mics. When my ears are I'm a producer. When my ears are a little bit thrashed, I have semi-mixing that I've been doing, and now I'm getting into more mixing today. When my ears are a little bit under the weather, I'm not. But so today, I'm just letting you know, I'm drinking some straight-up black cherry to get my mojo going on. And like I said, because I'm a black cherry whore, and I'm also a Topo Chico whore, you can send me a little thank you in the description. Right below the description, you hit the thank you icon. You could buy me a coffee. You could buy me a black cherry soda, which I'm going to drink right now. You can buy me a Topo Chico, Don Francisco coffee, And whatever you want to do to support me at this channel, I definitely do this. I would have done it anyways, whether you buy me coffee or not. I think it's important that I show people what this is about, because when I was searching about learning how to do ribbons, there was fucking nothing. And everyone that was really good, or anyone that would be starting to show you what happens with this, they never ever will show you how to replace the ribbon. So as an enthusiast, I think I just want to share this, because I'm not saying I'm the best in the world, but there'll be someone that will see this that will be able to repair a mic themselves. Maybe they live in Alaska. Maybe they live in North Dakota. There's no one close by. They can go online. They can buy the ribbon. They can buy the set of tools that you need, and they can start practicing. And maybe eventually they'll be able to replace their own Kohls. And God, you put it on a fucking kick drum. Who cares? You're blowing it. You replace it. You can do what you want. So yeah, it's about kind of making you independent if you're looking for that. And if you have an old set of Kohls, or one that you know has never been serviced, hit me up, because I guarantee you, you've never heard that mic sound as good as it does after it has a new ribbon in it. Okay, time to take a drink of my black cherry cane sugar soda pop. Holy mackerel. That was insane. That was like the first time you bite into some lobster and butter. You're like, oh yeah, that's the shit right there. No, that was the shit. All right, let's get to this. I'm trying to do this in due time. I have on the stop clock, I've already been 17 minutes into this. I have to be done. I have, let's see, counting the minutes, 15. An hour and 15 minutes. I know that sounds fucking crazy, but if you watch me do these, I have to be thorough, and that takes time. And sometimes I have to stop, pick up my wife from work, have dinner, and then come back here and continue on. So I just don't want to rush it. Excuse me. It's just the last of the phlegm coming out, which is annoying as fuck. But you can't say that, I'm going to stay in bed and watch Netflix all day. I'd be doing that and being like, oh, fuck, man. I should be at the studio, going live, fucking up live, and then trying to tell people to come watch me again, and I'll get it right the next time. That's my life. But I don't give one fucking fuck, because I'm not a repair guy. I'm an enthusiast. I get microphones usually from only producers and people that are making serious records. Even for the novice now, you can send me your mics and I'll upgrade them. But it's been a really organic way of me getting into this. I didn't plan on doing this. And like some of the guys that are repair guys, and I'm not talking about Kohl's in Nashville, I'm talking about some other guys, they got all butthurt. They thought like I was trying to like steal their business, or, people that are going to send their repairs to me and not them. I was like, dude, I'm not looking to steal anyone's business. I just wanted to help people that don't want to wait 6 to 8 to 2 months for rare ribbon mics to get repaired. Now, I will put a disclaimer. I did have an epic event in my life where my building in my studio got sold, and I was out of luck. Shit out of luck. I lost my building. I didn't have a place to do any of my work. And I just put the word out I was going to be doing a new run of microphones. So I got way over max. I mean, people sent me a lot of their mics, and it just took me some time because I found a building, and as I started to build it out, it took me a few months. So I'll take back that disclaimer. There was a group of people that sent me some mics a while ago, but my delay was life-changing. You lose your livelihood. I didn't work for maybe 4 months. Have you ever done that? It's fucking brutal. So I started a few weeks ago putting out the word that I will be doing these again, and people have been awesome to start sending their mics again. I've almost finished everything that I have currently. I have some mics coming in now. I'm looking at 2, 4, 6 mics pairs I have to get done. Those are MXLs, the upgrades. And I'll put it out there if people are interested in those. please, please hit me up. Those are fucking the most affordable upgrades to get a mic that you'll get into at about $350, but it will sound like a $1,200 ribbon. This is a $1,200 ribbon. A pair, maybe actually maybe more. I'm sorry, maybe on the used market as well, but it costs about $3,000 to get a pair of these. And if you are gonna buy Kohls, I like mono, but to have a pair makes you could do the John Bonham. I saw Daniel Lanois record at Sunset Sound, and he had a pair kind of like the John Bonham style. It was just super fucking stealthy. All right, checking out the goods. So this one is slightly distorted. I can't tell. The ribbon looks okay, but if there is a tear, I'm not going to find it. I'm just going to take out the ribbon and put a new one in it. So that part is easy. Well, yeah, man. Thank you, Paul, for mentioning that. I love doing this. Honestly, I could be sitting here alone doing it, or I could just go online. And sometimes when I go online, I meet some people, make some friends. People buy me a black cherry soda, and I learn. Matter of fact, doing the last few mics of the week, I'm making my own design. And by getting a variety of mics, even some of these mics I've done before, and now that I've been doing it for a lot of years, I look at them different. So I'm like, oh fuck, I never noticed that. Like, make little notes and little details. So what I want to do, my theory of my own mic company, and I always mention it, it's like if you're gonna make an Indy car, you better be a driver that won some Indy races, or at least have some kind of knowledge of what you're building. So you could then, at least if I say I'm building a race car, how it's going to work. Like, Dale Shelby just got a Mustang. Give me your Mustang. And then he fucking hot rodded it, and now you got a Shelby. Well, I look at things the same way. I'm like, just you gotta get in there and do it. That's right. That's right. These have these I just want to make sure always, I don't know if you can see that. That's a flat. The bottom part of this is flat. When you put this mic on, that has to, even though it's plastic and it's moving, you got to put that back on, because if you don't, you're going to break the brackets. Those brackets are glued onto the top. You can glue them back in if they came off, but that fits really snug. So when I put them back on, I have to put them back on the way they came. Now, you just saw me take off. These are just, they feel plastic, but maybe they're like really light aluminum. I mean, they really weigh nothing. They're just, that's what holds these down to there. And there's 4 bolts on it. To work on a Kohl's, you have to remove the back to have access to 2 small bolts that are on the top part of the ribbon. Never do that one. That's son of a bitch. That's just the ground. No, don't touch that one. But you have to then be able to work on this mic. So what I need to do now is have access to the back. So I've already unscrewed the front. When I did unscrew the front, there was 2 screws that held the badge. Once those 2 screws come off, the front pops off. And the way the front of the mic sticks to the mic is there's a little hook right there. So that little hook kind of snaps in. You push it down, and then you put the Kohl's little badge, and the 2 screws hold on the faceplate. And the back plate is held on by, more time, these little 4 brackets, 4 screws. So you have to remove the back plate, which I'm doing now. Now it comes off. I need access to the rear of the mic, which I do now. And the reason, even though you replace the ribbon from the front of the mic, you've got to remove these 2 bolts. Now, a lot of times when these mics get dropped, which is terrible, I always see damage somewhere in this area. Now, there are people in the U.S., like, I'm not a guy. If you drop this and you fuck up that whole area, we're going to have to send it to someone that's a real specialist, because you can get most of these parts from Kohl's for replacement. But the biggest issue is this little area is welded onto these magnets. If this gets bent or fucked up, you may be able to save it if this bar area is okay, but there's a good chance these bolts will get bent, and that's when you have to buy new bolts, new brackets, you just basically replace all the little parts, and hopefully you can put it together, and someone that knows what they're doing. A lot of people can buy these screens. You can't see it, but that's silk. Underneath it is screen like that. All the stuff, you can buy it that gets bent and bent out of shape. So Kohl's basically is putting these silk screens here, and what that's doing is saving the ribbon from a lot of air coming through the front of the mic and ruining that. So now that we have, now this is the back side, and these are the little brackets that are glued on. So if you drop it or it's really loose, there's a good chance these came off. I remember I had one that went off and there was 2 little dabs of glue. These are not like fucking Hercules on. It's just 2 little pieces of glue that stick these on. God knows why they didn't put a screw through that. I mean, they made this mic so heavy duty. Why not just put a bolt through that into the magnet? I have no fucking idea. Except I would have done that. So now that I've talked a lot, one more black cherry drink. I'm almost done. Holy. Holy moly. That was amazing. Sorry about my choice of words. Someone else is using my lingo, and I'm just trying not to say what I usually say. All right, so now we're going to take out these. Now, even though that this could be a ratchet set, never ever use a ratchet set. These are not, they're just hand tight. Like that one just comes off really easy. And when you put them back on, the same way. This is really, really soft metal, soft screws. They're just holding down the lighter than fuck ribbon. You don't need to tighten them on. They're just gonna, but you cannot put that ribbon back in without these back bolts. I always tell you that I don't know why they're there, because why would you need to heavy duty this bolt to hold down a ribbon that's 0.6 in thickness? It isn't like you're holding back a bunch of wild horses. You're kind of holding back your nana. But you can't remove these 4 screws. And it'll be obvious, 2 of the screws will be long, 2 of the screws will be short. It's easy to put them back. Before I do that, though, I do have to remove this screen, because when I install the ribbon, okay, let's put that the way we had it, the way we were, okay. Now to work on it, I've got to put this back on so I can flip it over. And I still have to get it back to it because I have to put the screws back on. So it's not like it's, why did I take that off? And it's an ordeal. It's just part of the deal. And it looks like some of the paint's chipping off. On the table. Okay, Kohl's paint. Interesting. I mean, Albini's look like his were just deteriorated. The paint came off completely. It's just a flat paint. I have no idea. Is it powder coated? I don't know. I don't think powder coating would come off that easy, though. Maybe they're still doing it exactly the way they did it a long time ago. Okay, now that I've done that. Now, before you work on a Kohl's microphone, probably the biggest thing you need to do, and this is the most important, so take a note. You got to take a drink of some Topo Chico. Hold on a second. Fresh bottle. Oh, yeah. I didn't have my espresso this morning. I did make some chorizo and eggs, a traditional Latin American Mexican breakfast. All right, so we're going to put you out of the way there. We will need to get you. So now I'm going to remove these 2. Now I'm taking the word of the artist that whatever issues he was having, he knows what he's talking about. So he was on a piano. Certain notes of the piano would make the mic kind of have a weird vibration in the low end. And that sounds like something's going on already. So it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, this is definitely, we're going to replace the ribbon. It's because it's 0.6 thickness, it doesn't take that much to really fuck it up. Everything's headed to the magnet. Hold on. I know this sounds a little bit more brutal than it is, but I gotta get that little, that's not gonna work. Hold on now, gotta get something I can get in there. This will be fine. Yeah. Almost the same in look, but I just want to make sure that I've separated them. I like to have my bolts organized. Holy moly. I know, right, Shannon? Jeez Louise. Bolts are magnetized. So even though the block isn't, those are definitely magnetized. So we're going to sit those right there. This would be for the back. This is not magnetized. So this is probably aluminum. It's got a little line, always had a little line right there. It looks like it's coated with something. That probably helps make sure that screen doesn't touch this. But whatever it does, it must conduct some kind of electricity to hold the ribbon down. So let's just do the other one. My sniffles aren't as bad, but I still got a little bit of congestion that's kind of coming up, which sucks. But I'm grateful that I woke up today like really wanting to kick ass. You know, and that's one of the reasons why even I'm not preaching. I haven't drank since 2008. I've never done drugs, but it's bad enough when you have a cold and you don't feel good and you have to get in and do something. I can't stand the idea of waking up and not feeling like I'm gonna jump out of bed and kick ass. And that is probably my biggest motivation of why I don't do anything. And I'm usually working here late anyways, and then I have to get up at 6 every morning to take my wife to work. So there's a little room for threshold to just fuck around. So as I say, you fuck around and find out. I've had many mornings where I found out and I was like, I don't like this. So anyways, little Manny. So that screw is pretty massive. And this is the screw that came out of the top one. So when I put these back, it's really obvious which ones go where. But it's still good to note. You just got to watch what you're doing. Look at the screw. Oh shit, did you see that? That's how strong that magnet is. Look at that. I'm gonna make a little jump here. medieval time. Whew, look at that. This is ceramic, and that's stuck to the ceramic wall. Holy shit, you're fun. Yeah, it's sticking to the ceramic wall. Look at that. Come on, do it. Oh, you motherfucker. See, I would not be having this fun if that was my ribbon I just installed. Fuck no. Oh shit, you motherfucker. Well, that tells you, keep your schnizzles and nizzles away from the magnets. If that was a razor blade, my finger's in between that, there you go. Hokey pokey. These aren't magnetized. Going on there, but this is. So this is a Kohl microphone, a beauty, cutie, if you name it something like that. Shannon here names his mics. Yep. So once again, those are the screws on the bottom. These are the screws on the top. This bolt is on the back side. It goes onto this one. You would not be able to get on that one anyway. So it's really obvious when you put it back together where everything has to go. So I need to now remove this plate. That is keeping the screen from grounding out. It's keeping this screen from grounding out. You don't want this screen to be touching that block, and this one that will ground out the mic, and that's why they put the little piece of tape. Okay, let's see. Oh shoot, let's see what we got. Gonna do this, huh? I look at that thing and I go, oh my god. That's like looking at when I always say Evel Knievel ready to jump over like 16 buses, and he's just like gonna do it shot of Jack Daniels. He's like, let's do it. I'm telling you, I wish I can say this will always be one and done, but these are fucking brutal to replace. What's up, Mark? We're just doing a mic that in the history of YouTube, no one ever does live or even does it, period. Replacing a ribbon on it. I'm making that claim. Fuck it. You know, I don't get a reward for it. Maybe I get a coffee, but hasn't happened yet. I'm just saying. Okay, so let me see if I can even. Maybe that's where it is. I can't tell if that ribbon's gone. No, it's there. Yeah. Get the ribbon off. Finger. right, there you go. To the trash. So this is inside of a Kohl's. Hi-ho, as they say, hi-ho. Now I'm just gonna clean it. There wasn't a lot of stuff. I can see a little, there's magnetic, that little stuff there. It's just stuck alongside of the, which is not like it's dirty, but that you saw the magnet drawing that. There's little particles when they were building this mic that may get there, but that little stuff absolutely can rip your ribbon. So while I'm here, I'm just going to go and do this, because once that's done, I'm not going to do this. And just make sure there's nothing on the magnets. Well, these aren't really magnets, and they're magnetized, but these pole pieces are then glued onto this magnet or welded. I don't know. These wires right here are grounding that come from the backside and get grounded here and here. So there's a ground loop that comes around, and then this is somehow isolated to only be positive. This obviously wire is coming over that, but this I think is slightly, there's a little something that separates this from touching this. That's why when you lay in the screen, that can be touching this, but that can't be touching this and this. It's one or the other, but not that. So you know what I'm talking about, right? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay, so the inevitable is, the elephant in the room is, I need to fucking put a new ribbon in that. And that is just a fucking son of a bitch. But I tell myself I like it. Okay, let's get ready. I've cut some ribbons in anticipation of this being a nightmare. So I must get my paraphernalia ready that I'll be using. I need that. I need my screws. I have my alcohol. I don't want to fuck with this. This is the last piece of 0.6 I have. I think I have one more sheet in the closet, but this is how fragile it is. That sheet is in it. See right there in the corner? That got ruined. See my fingerprint? My finger touching it fucking ruined the bottom of that. Oh, it's like a heartbreak. It's like, really? So I just have to be very careful as I throw it over there not to fuck it up. So I have some ribbons in here that I'm going to draw on. These are cut, and the reason I keep them in here kind of like Egyptian mummies, for that reason. They're kind of under lock and key, like no wind, no nothing, don't fuck with them, don't look at them, because they fucking will just fall apart. So I gotta pick a ribbon I like, and then I gotta see if I can install it. Son of a bitch. Okay, I'm gonna pick you. And then I have to remove it from the paper, which is a nightmare. So I've ruined plenty. Try this one. Let me see. I'm trying to pick my kids here, which one I like. First. Oh, shit. Hold on. God, it's scary. I know that's rude. I have no mute button to mute my coughs, or I would. And this is live, so it's not like I can edit it out. Whew. You know what I need. Time for another shot. Enjoy. Cheers, everyone. If you got a drink, toast to Ribbon Mike Mayhem. Oh, boy. Here comes the hard part. Okay, so I've got my alcohol ready. That is what is going to stick the ribbon to it. Hold on a second. Just kind of clean this area up. Make sure there's Nothing here that will adhere to the ribbon. Everything feels like do this. I'm just paranoid, and this ribbon is so thin. Been doing a lot of ribbon repairs. There's nothing wrong with doing a little cleaning. Well, there's not really any dirt, but just making sure. Alright, that's good enough for now. I got enough ribbon in there. I mean alcohol. I got enough. I have to cut. I have to separate the ribbon from the paper, which in itself is one more step to fuck up the ribbon. So give me 1 second. Just have patience with me before I could get it anywhere near the mic. I've got to cut this motherfucker. Shit. I don't like this at all. That doesn't look good. How am I gonna really get you off? Funny motherfucker. Yeah. Nizzle my nizzle. Fuck. That is. Look at that. Oh my god, that is just like you're gonna really. If I touch that with my finger, oh shit, I'm talking. Never mind. Everybody, don't even look at it right now. Oh my god, this piece of paper. Oh my god, man. I really want to do this, huh? Talk all this shit. Yeah, I'm the only guy. Blah 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 blah. And then I get to do it. I'm like, fucking shit. Why am I the only guy that wants to do this? And now I understand. Those guys that repair this shit, I had to ask them, okay, not to make myself feel better, but I asked a few repair guys, are these a bitch? And they all said, yep. Installing the ribbon is a motherfucker in these. Oh, fuck. Really? You really want to do this today, huh? Oh, shit. That's not what I wanted to do, but it's okay. The alcohol ran down the edge and it pulled the ribbon. Oh my god. Pull the ribbon over the edge. That is not what I wanted to happen. Oh. Okay, let's see if we can get it back. That ribbon, that's already shot. Not the ribbon, but the Q-tip. Hold on now. Well, the big no-no was I was dousing the fucking block with alcohol. I forgot, don't let it run down the back, which I usually make a mental note. I did not. So when I laid it in, it just kind of poured out the back. So now I want it to pour out the back, but okay, come on. Okay, I like you. I like you, but I don't like the tension. I may have done this one up. I'm gonna take this one out. I don't like it. When it hit that little area, it got sucked down on the side. It just kind of took out the corrugate. This is so thin that I don't mind. This is okay, but this little area needed to look like that. And when it hit that flat area, it kind of fucked it up. So, no, we're not one and done. Son of a bitch, man. It didn't look that bad, and I think I could have salvaged it. But this is for a bud, and he's a producer. I know he's going to put it on piano. I can't even take a chance. So yeah, there is the ribbon, how thin it is. So I'm just going to touch it. See, even me just, it's just fucked. Be the thinnest ribbon you can possibly buy. I mean, it's just that fast, it's done. Okay. Ah, shit. I wanted it to be one and done. Don't even get me wrong. This isn't even like one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'll fuck up the first one. I got fucking 2 more left. I'm just like, oh, this is not where I want it to be. It's kind of like you're in the last 2-minute warning at football and you just got 3 timeouts. I just used one of them and I'm at the 40-yard line and I'm just like, fucking shit. I wanted to be at least the 15-yard line and have 2 timeouts so I could possibly get in the end zone or have that motherfucker kick it through the goalposts. Instead, I'm at the 40-yard line and shit's about to happen. Ah, son of a bitch. Okay, let's grab one in here. I think you look good for a second one. Okay, you ready? Matt. I have to put this other one back in there. I'm just worried about it sitting out there. I mean, just by looking at it, you're just like, you're gonna fuck up. Okay. And even putting the lid on, I have to do it light because that pressure inside could fucking tear it. Okay, give me a second. Whew, shit. We're at 3:22 Pacific Standard Time. I told myself I was gonna be done by 4. Why did I do that? Well, on Shannon's question, not necessarily. The resos that I did for Paul were really difficult to work on, and they're moderately expensive. Not too much. When you get into older ones like rare RCAs and stuff, those become a little bit more problematic. I would say, yeah, maybe like 77s. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. There's a lot of moving parts. This one, it's only Achilles heel is how thin the ribbon is. That's it. And I could get away with putting a 118 in this, a 1.8. But if someone opens this up that knows what they're looking at, you can tell the difference from a 1.8 to a 0.6. I can tell. So I'm just telling them I'm putting the proper ribbon in. I've got to put the proper ribbon in. I had that story about that guy that was the best in the country that did my 160, and he knew I could open up a fucking mic, and it sounded like shit, and I could not believe that I just paid $350 for this guy, and he's the best in the country, and he fucked up my vintage 160, and I found out that the inside had cupcake foil. Like, is that your secret? You go to Smart and Final and you buy a bunch of cupcakes, corrugate them, and you're like, yeah, man, I got this foil that's pretty indestructible. No fucking shit, man. And it sounded like shit. So, anyways, yeah, it's a big deal. I got burnt hard by that. So I don't feel like doing that to someone else. And it was not a good feeling. Oh, I know, Paul. I'm just talking about America, man. Sorry. I actually don't know anything about your style of football or rugby, except those guys look like they'll fucking kill you. And they got legs the size of tree trunks, and they run through you. You know? So, yeah. Okay, so I have to cut this ribbon out of the paper again. Hold on. Focus, Manny, focus. Let's see here. That's right. Okay, now here's a part where I can absolutely damage the ribbon by removing the paper. Oh, come on. Alright, one paper's off. But the truth is, if someone had a vintage pair of these, and they're like, Manny, put 1.8s in it, I'm gonna put them on the snare, or even 2.5, I'm gonna use this on the snare, probably be fucking killer, honestly. But there's a point where the purist would be like, if you are putting on a piano and you expect the fidelity to be a certain way, you're not really gonna get it. And speaking of that, I'm not getting this mic to be released from the ribbon. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Oh. The last stage, I have to release the foil from the paper. And that always seems to be the point of where you can fuck it up again. And, do. With the razor blade, see if we can get that separated. Hold it now. Son of a fucking bitch. To let you know, my dilemma is this. This is so fragile, the foil. It sticks to almost anything. It is sticking to the paper. And I need to remove it from this paper to be able to put it on the mic. And it seems to be at both ends. And I can't really... It's kind of like you gotta knock it loose a little bit. Ah, shit. Okay, hold on. Ooh, I don't want to bend that. Ah, fuck. Come on, don't do that. Oh my god. Ah, fuck. Out. No, if I put alcohol on it, it would just fucking stick, and it would be impossible to get it apart. Then it would rip. Oh, shit. Oh fuck! I just dropped my alcohol. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Don't do that! Don't do that! Oh fuck! That alcohol would have dripped on that little area. Oh my god! We would be at now 2 done. I still fucking fucked up the end. Son of a bitch. Ah. All right. Let's get it together. Annihilated another one right now. Yeah, I mean that's the annoying part. Is that everything like there is no room for error, especially with this microphone. And that's why I just don't think early on or just and in some ways the time that it takes to do this, it just sucks that I like doing this. That's really the shame. The shame is I like doing this. So I need to prep this now and don't make the mistake of letting the alcohol drip on the I need another. That one good. No. For the inner side of the brackets, keep it so the alcohol drips away from not away from the center, basically. So I'm gonna put this on it, and hopefully it runs down that way. One more dab for good luck right there. To do that, this is not working out well. I am ruining this ribbon as I drag it around. It is getting thrashed. Ah, fuck. it is. I mean, what the fuck, you know? What am I gonna do? Bragged about it, talk some shit, then we can do this. Right there. Whew. That's gonna do it. You gotta wait to let it sit for a second. The alcohol's a little wet. I got one more adjustment to do on this and I'll feel better about that. But to the most part, holy fuck. Oh my god, man. Oh my god. Okay. That was fucking. I actually shouldn't even talk, man. I'm not even lying. I don't want to fuck this up now. Oh my god. Ooh. Norway, John Sand. You know, I have some friends from over in that area. I almost recorded a record in Oslo. Morrissey, I worked with Morrissey for about a year to work on a record. And every time we got to production, one of them was in Oslo, um, he would fire the manager. So it was like, I think it was like in August, I was working in Honolulu. I got a call can you get a budget together for Oslo? I got the record together for Oslo. It was like 250 grand for everything, the musicians, the studio, and it's good to go. And then like a week before we were gonna buy the flights, and I was gonna go out there, he had a manager named Simon. Simon wrote me and says, "By the way, mate, I'm not working with Morrissey anymore, so whatever it is that we were doing," he apologized, and it was a no-go. So yeah, moment of thinking I'd been Oslo. Crashed. Now, oh, I know it was. Why was I tripping out right now? I forgot. Oh man. I forgot my little razor blade mount underneath this. That's why I was holding it, and I felt something was off. My spider senses were like, "Why do I feel weird installing this ribbon?" That's why. Oh my god, that makes all the difference. Levels it out. Oh, I did that without my little deal. Yes, a new Q-tip. We need a new Q-tip just to be ready. Like that. I mean, a little bit. I mean, a hair. If I use it 2 times, and the third time I touch the ribbon's like, "Oh yeah, we're sticking to you like glue." Phew. Gotta get my brain on again. One that's far away. I gotta look above this motherfucker. Do one more little thing here. I hope this doesn't fuck it up. I'm going back in. God. Sorry about that. I'm getting over a cold. Let's do the next one. Keep my screwdrivers away. As you can tell, it slides over. Oh, fuck. Permanently bent in the shape of a screw because of how tight I have to hold these. Always fucking nervous. Um, oh, fuck, just make sure I'm right. Right. Holy cows. We're not out of it yet. Until I put that fucking screen back on that motherfucker, I'm like, I don't want to rip it in half. Okay. Now we got to put the other bracket on. So that is installing technically right now. I'm not in the end zone calibrating yet, but that's pretty close to getting a 0.6 ribbon installed in a Kohl's microphone, which I can say, someone prove me wrong. It's never been shown on YouTube or anywhere. There's pictures of stages, but never a motherfucker who's going to sit there and do that. But I will say there are definitely people in the world that can do this really great, maybe even better than me. Coles is another one. He's a great guy. He's too busy doing his 30 mics a day, whatever he does, it's a lot. And this is just my little fun doing this, and I'm talking a little shit. But if I talk shit, it does not apply to Coles because I have so much respect. And he's young. He's a wicked producer, and damn, can that guy fucking play guitar, and he tunes ribbons. And I think that's the best perfect storm. I'm a producer. I can record. I have ATCs. When I check the ribbon mics, I'm checking them through Wally Hider, modded APIs, Neves. I fucking care. So if I hear a ribbon and it doesn't sound right, you fucking sure it doesn't sound right. I'm not plugging into a bunch of Mackies or some other kind of system that's not gonna get the job done. I mean, this needs to be like if you went to Sunset Sound and you do a ribbon for them, you know it's gonna go to another Wally Hider API, so you better fucking have it right. So yeah, I care, and there's a few other guys in the United States that can do this, but I do think it's stressful. Even for me to do this, I could, even that is scary. I can, I do this because I don't give a fuck, honestly. And I like doing it, and I think you can't have success without failures. So when I have a failure here, I'm more determined to get back on here and get it right. You cannot, like, you've seen people, they build engines and then fucking the engine blows apart. And the guy's all, fucking shit, what happened? Oh, I must have put, like, too much, I forgot to put the gasket between the headers, or maybe they put too thick of a gasket, or let's use thinner gaskets. Like, there's always something that you learn from failure. So I need to do these, I need to fail, and I need to succeed. And my succeeding is right now, almost. When I get this bolt in, I've succeeded, I think. Unless some kind of fucking screw flies out of my hand and flies through the ribbon, which I don't want it to. This is going to be a success, I hope. Oh, shit. I don't want that ribbon to move. Never mind, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Karma has a way of coming back, and when you get a little arrogant, shit fucking happens. So, it's like the fighter that walks up to a guy and, like, headbutts him, and that was a bad thing to do. He gets in the fight, and the guy fucking knocks him out. And when he's knocked out, he says, fuck you. Give me a headbutt, you motherfucker. And that guy that gave the headbutts, he's like, never again. I'm going to shake hands. I'm going to say, good luck. May the best man win. And you can only hope that on fight day that you're ready to fight and you don't have fear in your heart. When you have fear in your heart and you're about to do something, then you shouldn't do it anymore. You know who has that is stuntmen. There's a part of your brain that's near the front lobe of your brain that's fearless. It's that thing when you're a kid and you like jump off a cliff to land on a tree and you're like, I can do it. Well, as you get older, there's never an issue with that. But then one day, it clicks. And as you're a stuntman standing to jump off a train onto a moving car, you hesitate because you go, oh, fuck. And that is the point that you should not be doing it anymore. Same with fighting. If you get in the, I'm into mixed martial arts, so I was halfway to a black belt. I never pursued it more than, just that. And I was definitely before the world of MMA. But you know, my fear was getting hit in the head, hit in the air, hit in the brain regarding being a producer and doing music, and my fingers and my hands. I decided not to do that. I was in a motorcycle accident and I was gonna ride bikes again. I munched it hardcore on a motorcycle when I was 18. And then my friend Eddie Prouty, who was my bud, kept on racing his motorcycle and he broke his neck. So then he came to my house, he had a halo. And I was like, fucking Eddie, dude, don't fucking ride your bike anymore, dude. It's just not worth it, especially in LA. No, man, fuck that shit. 2 years later, he had the halo taken off, Turbo Canyon, flew off a corner into a tree. His neck broke again, and he died. So, moral of the story, when you get the signs, you have to follow them. Okay, I did that. Okay, these are tight. Now what I need to do is install this back in, but I want to put a little bit of rubber cement in this. Paul, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Paul just got me some Topo Chico. Appreciate that, man. You guys supporting me, man. I've been doing this every day. It adds up. I just got a notification that of the last few weeks, I got an extra about $100 of people buying me coffees and stuff. And honestly, that's what it costs for me to go to the store, buy a case of Pellegrino, a case of Topo Chico, and then because of the embargo or the tariffs, my coffee is now going to be going up. Son of a bitch, right? So thank you guys. It makes a difference, man. To put a little rubber cement in there. This was a little bit loose when I took it off. Oh shit, that thing came off. God. Well, that came off. That means I gotta do it again. Son of a bitch. Okay. Fuck, I just got in so good too. Well, I was just gonna say, because it was a little loose, and that was obviously loose, and it came off. Wait, I'm afraid I'm gonna fucking ruin that. I gotta write my wife that I'm late. Hold on. I don't know if you guys are back. I had to text my wife. I just looked at the clock, and I'm. I don't know if you guys are back. I had to text my wife. I just looked at the clock, and I'm already at almost 4 o'clock p.m. my time, and I thought I'd be done. But little ditties like this just got to be taken care of. I need to get that part glued onto the screen. And this is the original tape that came with it, which is not like I just do the same thing. So I'm just going to put a little, it'll be that way probably. to keep the mic from grounding out. So they just put a little piece of tape there. And you know, when they did it in the factory, it's not a big deal. But with me now that I'm putting it back, it came off. And that is a big deal because if I don't have that secure, that's going to come off and it's going to stick to it's going to cut the ribbon. All right, so now once again, I've got to put a little bit more rubber cement on that. I was really happy with when I applied that, but then I was like, oh, fuck, that piece of tape came off. Oh, we're fucked on that one. Hold on. Nothing like getting rubber cement on your fingers. Hold on. I say hold on a lot. Like, if you want to go, please, it's okay. I won't be hurt. My feelings won't be hurt. This is definitely one of those things that are just like, you got to be into this or not. There's no middle ground. This is exciting to you, or this is like, holy fuck, this is like having someone scrape a chalkboard with their nails. I'm just putting a little bit of this rubber cement just on the edge. This is not necessarily going to keep it from making contact, but it will keep this in there a little bit. It was loose when I took it out. There's only so much you can bend it in, and I don't want to grab those pole pieces that are ground and push them in and take a chance of breaking them. So let's just see what we got. Again. Oh my god. What the fuck? It's like, really? I did a fucking killer job and you're fucking with me now. The little piece of tape. You motherfucker. Okay, so I know what we gotta do now. Okay, let's get this. We got this, Manny. We got this. Not a big deal. You've done this a zillion fucking times. Make sure there's no glue on your fingers that will adhere to that. This in first. You got it. You got it, man. Then this in second. Okay. You're fine. Holy cows. Now we need to finish off the installation, which means I need to get access to the backside because these are the screws that need to be applied to the back to hold those little screws that I just put in. So I'm gonna open this up because I have access to, I have access to the back. I do. If this comes off, there you go. And now I need to put the screws on and tighten them. Or the bolts, I'm sorry. Oh, before I do that, oh fuck, I forgot. Oh, I'm snapping. I've got to put the screen on the backside. I'm moving too fast. Take it easy. It's not a big deal. Let's don't fuck this up. You just did it. You've already patted yourself on the back. You fucking put a 0.6 ribbon in a Kohl's live. Don't fucking get over excited. Okay. I think this one was a better fit, so I'm gonna go without the glue. This one was fine, I believe. On the side. I have less of a chance of puncturing the ribbon. One. So once you've done it, I'm just doing it by hand just to get it to a certain point. And then I'm going to get the ratchet. Never use a ratchet. But I'm going to just tighten it by hand. It's actually magnetized too. So, okay, it feels tight. I'll do the other side. Now what I want to do is hold the screwdriver and then just make sure that when I put those bolts on the back, I don't want to loosen this. Okay, that feels good. Now let me go to the top one. Get that off. Top one now, just to make sure that it's tight. This is what's holding the ribbon down. Okay, it's good. And they can. And I don't know if they put both of those on because I still don't know. It's either grounding or maybe because this is kind of extended outside the magnet. Maybe the magnet flexes and it's just like they found out over all the years that that top one comes undone. So that looks beautiful. That is a Kohl's re-ribboned. Putting this on for safety. I'm going to bolt on the back. And then at that point, I'm going to call it a done day, a done deal. This is from my buddy. He's probably watching this shit. He's like, don't fuck up my shit. I see you. I want to make sure that you don't have any 1.8 on this motherfucker. I sure didn't, motherfucker. Okay, there's a little area that this has to go. So there you go. It feels good. Okay, that feels secure. And like I said, you have to have those little pivot parts flat. So that's good. To the other one. Holy moly, did it. All right, that is a one and done. No, two and done. Never before seen on YouTube, unless someone brings it to my attention, doing a Kohl's 4038 live on the spot. With a cold, he drops a lot of F-bombs on YouTube. And like I said, to my friends that know how to do this shit, I'm not putting you down. I'm just saying I like to do this. And I'm just, you know, showboating a little bit. But I really want to do this because I don't want people that are thinking about working on ribbons to not have a bunch of gatekeepers. I ran into a bunch of gatekeepers and it sucked. I lost money by having people fucking rip me off and do bullshit work. And so if you see me doing this, you know how to ask questions, you know what you want. So if you send this off to get ribboned, you have to say, okay, hey, I want to make sure you're using 0.6. If he says, well, that's too thin, 1 point, no, then you just send it to someone that can then put in the right ribbon. Because if I had to do this mic in 1.8, fucking easy peasy, super easy, or even 2.5, really easy to work with. I wouldn't have all those issues with the damaging of the ribbon and installing it. I'd have only a quarter of the F-bombs because it'd be really simple. But when you move into getting the real proper ribbons in these, it's another thing. It's another beast. And you got to be willing to keep these mics the way they were stock. I think this is one of the few mics that I believe in. When I do Buyer 160s, I believe I smoke the factories. They sound better. And so, you know, the Kohls are one of the few mics that I just think you don't need to fuck with it. It doesn't need to get any better because it already is. It's already achieved greatness. Listen to the Beatles. Listen to Jack White. Listen to Steve Albini. You know, it's already got it. But Buyer 160s, that, you know, they're like, you can get 5 Buyer 160s and they all sound different. So that's the variable that I maybe exploit on my own way of putting my own ribbons in them and then make them sound better, only because they're a little bit inconsistent. And so if I can lock in my ribbons and every time I check it before and after it smokes it, then I know I'm doing something right. I need to check this ribbon also. And if it sounds good, it goes back to him. If it doesn't sound good, then probably on my own time, I'm going to have to redo this mic. But that's okay, because this isn't about getting it done just for a fucking YouTube. I'm not one of those YouTube heads that just stages shit. This is going to a producer where he's going to be pissed off if it doesn't sound right. Holy cows, I did it, minus putting the badge on. I've got to leave. This is a Kohl's 4038. I'm grateful for everyone that hung out. If you can get me a Topo Chico and the thanks. You can buy me a coffee. To do me one better, I upgrade microphones. Any one of my older videos, and even in the description, watch something that requires maybe a modification on a R144, and I kick ass on those. I've got to head out, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if I'll be back tonight. I've got some mixing to do. If I get done with these songs for an artist, for Barry, and then I got some files for my friend Davo and Jeff, I will get back on it, and I do have some mics to do still. All right, everyone. Kohl's, as I say in Hawaii, shoots.